Welcome to the second last edition of the 13th Man, brought to you by Indian Weekender. I say second last because after almost 2 months of fantastic cricket, we've finally got our first finalist of IPL 2022. Yes, Gujarat Titans have made it to the finals of IPL and are now waiting to see which team joins them as the second finalist. The teams playing that semi-final are Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Rajasthan Royals. So we know for sure that it'll be a Royal who joins Gujarat in the finals, but we just got to wait and see who it is. Let's analyze all the action from the week gone by. Our first highlight this week is a stunning 73 scored by Virat Kohli in a must-win game for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Now, in their last league game, the Royal Challengers Bangalore had to win against the Gujarat Titans to keep their playoff hopes alive. They were chasing a stiff target of around 170, and Kohli comes out and scores a magnificent 73 to win it for his side. This was the Kohli of old. All the shots were there, all the confidence was there. He had a bit of luck going his way, but he made the most of it and made sure that he carried his team home single-handedly. So first highlight this week, Kohli's back, and not just back, he's actually back with a bang. Our next highlight this week is the game between the Mumbai Indians and the Delhi Capitals. Now for both these teams, this was their last league game. But for the Delhi Capitals, this game was extremely important, because they had to win if they wanted to seal their place in the playoffs and knock RCB out, because Delhi Capitals had a better net run rate than RCB. For the Mumbai Indians, this was an inconsequential game, but they could have done a huge favor on RCB by beating Delhi Capitals, which meant that RCB would have gone to the playoffs. What happened in the game was completely bizarre. Delhi Capitals crumbled under the pressure of a must-win game. Batting first, they could only put up 160 on the board. Normally in such games, the team that takes the aggressive option turns out to be the winner. But Delhi seemed to go into this game with an extremely defensive mindset, which is why they couldn't put up a score of more than 160. Chasing the total, Mumbai at one stage were in trouble at 95 for 3. Needing about 65 still to win from about 33 balls. And Tim David, the big hitting Tim David, had just come to the crease. He edged his first ball that he faced through to Rishabh Pant. Everybody appealed, the umpire said not out. Now, in a match where you've got 2 reviews left and you've got the opposition down at 95 for 3 and their last recognized batsman is at the crease, normally you would take a review of the umpire's decision just to make sure that there's no edge, or is there an edge. When your chances of qualifying for the playoffs are hanging by a thread, you would take that review. But for some bizarre reason again, Rishabh Pant decided not to review, and afterwards the replays showed that in fact Tim David had edged that ball. What did Tim David do next is he smashed his way to about 35 of 11 balls and made sure Mumbai won that game comfortably. Rishabh Pant had an extremely poor game for the Delhi Capitals. First as batsman, because he couldn't score more than run a ball. Then as wicketkeeper, because he actually dropped a little dolly that came his way. And lastly, he had a poor game as captain as well, making some bizarre decisions about not reviewing stuff when it had to be. Delhi got knocked out. Mumbai's done a huge favor to RCB. Celebrations in the RCB camp. They're through to the playoffs. All the action is exciting. Our next highlight for the week are the heroics of David Miller in the first playoff game, which was the qualifier for the final. Now, Gujarat Titans were playing Rajasthan Royals. Batting first, the Royals put on a massive score. Now, in a playoff game, 188 is a big score. And they put it up courtesy of captain Sanju Samson and the highest run getter of the tournament so far, Joss Butler. Both of those guys scored runs, took the Royals to 188. Now, stiff target to chase, But the Gujarat Titans, being the top team that they are, started well. Shubman Gill, Matthew Wade set the platform for Hardik Pandya and David Miller to come and finish off this game. But still, in the end, the finishing still needed to be done. Now, David Miller, South African, has been playing for South Africa for a long time, and he's got a good reputation in international cricket as being a great finisher. Around the T20 franchise tournaments around the world, also he's developed a reputation of being a big hitter towards the end of an innings. But somehow, over all these years in the IPL, Miller's never really shown his talent and displayed it on the IPL stage. So he's been desperate to prove his worth in the IPL. This season, in that Gujarat team environment, something seems to have clicked and Miller's been playing like an absolute dream. He and Hardik Pandya put together a fantastic partnership, but still, when the last over started, Gujarat needed 16 to win from 6 deliveries. Prasidh Krishna, who's actually played international cricket for India, had the ball in his hand and Miller was on strike. And what we saw next was some of the cleanest hitting of the tournament. Miller smashed 3 sixes of the first 3 balls that Prasidh Krishna bowled and took the Titans home. There's a reason why he's given the nickname Killer Miller, and he showed us all his killer instincts in that innings that he played. Gujarat through to the finals of the IPL in their debut season. Fantastic performance. Rajasthan, though, because they finished in second place on the league table, now still have another chance of making it to the finals. But for that, they'll have to wait to see which team reaches them in that semi-final. Remember, there's a game between Lucknow and Bangalore next, and the winner of that game will play the Rajasthan Royals in a virtual semi-final, and then the winner of that game goes and meets the Gujarat Titans in the finals. Last but not the least, we are going to discuss the second playoff game, which was the Eliminator between Lucknow and Bangalore. Now remember, Bangalore had just managed to sneak into the playoffs because of the favor that Mumbai had done them by beating Delhi Capitals, whereas Lucknow had qualified by having the third place in the group stages. Batting first, we thought RCB are going to depend a lot on their big guns, Virat Kohli, Faf du Plessis, Glenn Maxwell, but all 3 of them failed with the bat in this game. Who rescued them was an unknown quantity called Rajat Patidar. Now this is a story in itself. Rajat Patidar scored 112 in this game, but he actually hadn't been picked at the auction in February. He only came into the RCB side as a replacement for a guy called Lavneet Sisodia, who got injured in their RCB camp, and RCB then got Rajat Patidar in as a replacement. They played him in a few games before this playoff game, and he showed a bit of his class by scoring some runs, but no one expected him to play the way he did. He had a bit of luck, got dropped a couple of times, but made the most of it and displayed his full array of stroke play by smashing 112 of 50 odd balls. Who was with him at the other end though was that man Dinesh Karthik, the evergreen resurgent Dinesh Karthik, who scored a whirlwind 37 in the end. Both of them put together unbeaten 92 run partnership to make sure RCB got a mammoth 208 in a knockout game. Now, chasing such a huge total, LSG needed at least 2 individuals to step up and score big. And for a while, it looked like Deepak Hooda and KL Rahul would be those 2 individuals because they started really well, put on a partnership, and it just looked like LSG might overcome this target. But the problem is, Hooda got dismissed, and Rahul, even though he scored about 79 of some 58 deliveries, that innings wasn't a very impactful innings, and I'll tell you the reason why. When LSG started chasing this target, they needed to go at 10.5 runs and over. Rahul 79 of 58 came at 8.5 and over. which meant the rest of his batters had to score at 12.5 and over if LSG were to win this game. Now, scoring at 12.5 and over for 10 odd overs is a massive ask of all the other batters. And it's fine if you've got big hitters in your team, people like Glenn Maxwell, people like Liam Livingston, people like Andre Russell. But LSG don't have any of those. And which is why I feel that KL Rahul innings actually might have cost LSG that game. They've had a fantastic tournament though. They've been knocked out of the tournament, but they should be very proud of their efforts because in their very first debut IPL season, they've made it to the playoffs in third place, but unfortunate to lose out on a crucial knockout game. On the other hand, RCB, the Phoenix-like RCB who snuck in through the back door, having a fantastic run. They've got that big word called momentum going for them. They now play the Rajasthan Royals in a virtual semi-final because the winner of that game is going to meet the Gujarat Titans in the final. 15 years in the tournament, RCB's never ever won it. Could this be their year? Only time will tell us. Well, that brings us to an end of another edition of the 13th Man. If you like the video, please press the like button, please share it with your friends and family, and please subscribe to the Indian Weekender. In conclusion, we've got one team in the finals, the Gujarat Titans, waiting for the other finalists to join them. There's going to be a match between Rajasthan and Bangalore to decide who that second team is going to be. A reminder to keep working on your teams as well. As I mentioned that at the end of the IPL, I'm going to select an Indian 11 that should play the opening match of India's campaign at the T20 World Cup. And if that match is yours, we'll give you a special mention in the last video, which is going to be next week. So keep watching and enjoying all the exciting cricket that is going on. Thank you.